Thank you again for your understanding. So again, Consumer Credit Counseling Service of Rochester has been in the community since 1970 to help individuals and families build financial wellness and financial peace of mind. And we work to accomplish that mission on two paths. One would be our financial counseling that we offer. And then alongside that is through the financial education that we offer. And in a lot of the services that we provide, those things happen together and work powerfully as a combination. So today we're going to hopefully spend our time together in a very concise way, giving you an idea of what Driven to Success is all about, how the program works, what the path would be for a client who might enter the program and how they can benefit from it. We'll talk about some of the program benefits, not only to the individuals that are served, but also to any organizations that might be connected to the program, whether you're a community agency, an employer, a lending partner, a financial institution, and so on. And then lastly, we'll talk about how you can connect individuals to the Driven to Success program, or how you can get connected if you're looking to apply on your own. So as a quick icebreaker here, we thought it would be great to ask everybody to share in the chat what might be one word that you think describes the biggest challenge that individuals face to obtaining car loans. So if you have any thoughts on that, go ahead and pop that in the chat. Looks like credit is leading the way. I see high debt to income ratio, down payment, capital, red tape. Yes, lots of red tape can be there. Predatory lending. This is an area, auto lending, where there can be a lot of high interest loans that make it very difficult for people, sometimes up to 25% that individuals would pay. So huge challenge there. The cost of cars, of course, has been going up tremendously in recent years, which has been a challenge for a lot of people. And yeah, an overall lack of knowledge. I think we could probably all agree that when it comes to buying a car, it's something that is difficult to navigate. And what we're really happy to offer through the program is expertise to walk people through the process from start to finish, and understanding what their options are, how the whole loan process works, giving them good direction and information and advice about car buying, and helping them through that journey to make a good informed decision and get connected to opportunities locally that are going to be safer and more viable for them. So great responses. I appreciate everything that everyone shared. Car insurance is another one someone mentioned in the chat as a barrier, which is one we are continuously working on and trying to help people with as well. So again, thank you for that. Now we're going to dive in and just start off really with meat and potatoes here of what the program is all about, and go over the objectives, who's eligible, how it works, some of the experience that we've seen our clients have, and give you an idea of the client journey and how that path works for them. So the Driven to Success program is put in place to help low to moderate income residents to, number one, learn savvy car buying skills. So as I mentioned before, one of the primary goals that we have is to really be an advocate for individuals to help them through this process that can be so difficult to navigate. Secondly, to get them connected with trustworthy local lending partners who can offer them affordable auto loans. And then thirdly, through that, to help individuals bolster their income through job attainment, increased hours, shifts, job stability that comes with having that auto loan and having that vehicle. So in the end, we're looking at how this program can help people to attain and stabilize their income, stabilize their employment. Eligibility right now comes down to three main things. Number one, individuals have to be a Monroe County resident. Very soon, within the next few weeks here, we will also be expanding to Ontario and Wayne counties. So we're very excited to make that announcement and looking forward to growing the program in those areas that there's such a tremendous need. As I mentioned before, individuals have to have low to moderate household income, which is fairly generous, and we determine that when people apply. So you don't have to determine that on your end, as long as you think someone is most likely in that space based on what they do or your knowledge of them. They'll be a good fit for the program. And then thirdly, individuals have to have a work-related transportation need, which does cover quite a bit. They don't have to have the car to perform their work, but they need to demonstrate that they need the vehicle to get to work, from work, and that, again, is a work-related transportation need, whether it's to stabilize their current job, expand an opportunity, etc. So again, it covers a pretty wide gamut, but that's what we're focused on with the eligibility of the program. So pretty broad eligibility. And again, when people apply, we are identifying if people are going to meet that eligibility or not. We let them know at that time if that's the case and what they can do next. But essentially, the way that the program works is that we stand in the middle as an advocate for our clients and connect them to local lending partners once they hear about the program. So we kind of have these three areas of the program. First would be our referral partners, which would be our local employers, community agencies, municipalities, colleges and universities who identify individuals who have this kind of need, and they need transportation to get to work, perform their work, stabilize their work, and they might help promote the program. And that's why we're here talking about this today and the opportunities that you might have to help us promote it. And they refer clients to us, who then go through our car buyer education and counseling. We help individuals to learn the whole ins and outs of car buying and car loans, etc. We do credit review. We do a lot of other information gathering that we're going to go over in a moment here. And we essentially gather all that up and we pass that along to lending partners, local lending partners that we've established relationships with, who then evaluate our recommendations and make loan decisions. We don't actually make any loan decisions. And then they provide affordable terms to those who qualify for their loans. So it's a way of really working with individuals to get them connected to opportunities that might normally be challenging for them to get connected to on their own. That's essentially what the program is all about. It's a partnership between these three, stakeholders, if you will. Right now, the program is supported in part by Monroe County, the ESL Foundation, Rochester Community Foundation, the Greater Rochester Health Foundation, as well as Excelis. They're helping us to get the program off the ground and to do a 4-year startup with the intent of having the program sustain from there, because we do have a fee-for-service model with our lending partners, where when individuals are successful with their loans and getting funded, then they cover the cost of our counseling and education. Real quickly here, this is just to give you a little bit of background on some of our experience so far and the demand for the program. Since we fully launched the program almost 2 years ago now, we've gotten over 1,200 applications come through. Large majority of those individuals have been eligible for the program. We've counseled almost 500 individuals, getting very close to that mark, and have helped over 70 individuals get approved for loans. Our goal eventually down the road is, our long-term goal is to be helping over 250 people a year get approved for loans with our local lending partners. I do see some questions in the chat here. It looks like Denise answered that, but I'll put it out there again. Is there an age requirement? And as Denise pointed out, an individual has to be 18 years of age or older in order to enter into any kind of contract. So that's what the age requirement would be for the program, to actually help people to get into affordable car loans. Some of the things that we have learned from this is there's a lot of follow-up and education, ongoing counseling that is needed for our clients. So we've built in a lot of automated and direct follow-up procedures to make sure we're keeping people connected to what they need. And we've been shocked to learn how much more many individuals pay without a car, as you'll see in an example that we have in a moment here. And we try to streamline our process as much as possible because there are so many things going on in so many people's lives. And if we don't have that process streamlined, it can be very, very challenging. The outside challenges are that we are never sure what the auto loan market is going to look like, and used auto loan inventory is often very challenging. So that's something we're always keeping an eye on as well. You can see one of our clients' testimonials down there below. We've had many of those that we are always, happy to learn and understand better. And that's what our experience has been so far, and what we've been continuing to try to learn as we grow the program. So in this section here, we wanted to give you an idea of what a typical client journey might look like. And so we have an example of a client named Andrea, who happens to also have the same name as our outreach coordinator, but they are not the same person. But Andrea.
Oh, I'd hate to interrupt, but they're asking for the ASL interpreter, which we did schedule, but
we did. I'm not sure if they are here. Is the ASL interpreter with us? If you are, if you can unmute and identify yourself, we could make sure we address that. While we hopefully have them join, I'll continue, and then I'll pause if we get them to join us. So thank you for that, Denise. In our example here, Andrea is a 35-year-old single mom who has 2 children, 8 years and 5 years of age, works full-time in the medical field, earning about $39,000 a year, uses Uber and Lyft to get to work, and is spending about $1,200 a month on Uber and Lyft. And that's an actual number that we have from a couple of our clients who have been in that exact situation. So by helping some of our clients, progress from that situation to being into a car loan with insurance, with gas and maintenance, they're saving hundreds of dollars a month. $1,200 a month is wild. I just saw that comment. It blew us away when we learned that. Andrea has some past credit challenges and has little to no savings for a down payment. So typically, someone like Andrea would have very few options. She would have options to go to many of the places that we hear about on television that say if you have no credit or bad credit, they could get you financed. And that is absolutely true. The challenge, as many of us might be aware of, is that the interest rate on those loans that are offered through dealerships and through some financing companies can be give or take 20% interest, if not the maximum allowable rate in New York, which is 25%. Well, if Andrea was a client of Driven to Success, that could look very differently. So on Andrea's journey, she might go to her employer, go to community agency. She might be somewhere where she sees the Driven to Success flyer, and she learns about the program, and she scans the QR code to apply, which you all are welcome to scan that code right now if you want to. The only thing I would ask is that you don't actually apply unless you intend on applying, because it's going to trigger a whole bunch of things to come at you afterwards that you might not want to have to deal with. But if you want to actually truly apply right now, you could literally just scan that QR code, and it will take you to our online application. So Andrea would complete this online application. It's going to ask questions about her eligibility. It's going to ask her questions about her situation, so we have a better understanding as to what we might need to assist her with. And once that is completed, Andrea will receive an email asking her to upload some documentation to continue the process. Can we obtain flyers to post and share? Yes, we're going to be sharing a whole bunch of different resources, including that flyer at the end of this, or I should say after this session. So, and we're going to list those for you at the end. So as you can see in this email, it explains, the types of documentation pieces that we will need as the next step here: proof of income, banking history, and driver's license. And we give individuals a secure portal to do that. So once Andrea uploads her documents to the portal here, the process continues. And as you can see, she could just drag things into that spot, and it's telling her exactly where those documents are going, right to Denise, our wonderful coordinator. And once Andrea completes that, she gets an invitation to schedule an appointment. So here's what the email looks like. Lets her know she just can click on that link to schedule an appointment. and what steps she'll need to take from there, or she can follow up with our car buyer education and some of the other opportunities that we offer as well. So once Andrea clicks that link, she can go to this service that we have for scheduling an appointment. It's kind of like what some of you might have used before for like a doctor or dentist appointment. She can actually pick an exact date and time that works for her that will be available for Denise and know that she can attend that appointment at that time. Going back, one thing that you will notice is that this does say that it's an invitation to schedule your phone counseling appointment. So we do the vast majority of these over the phone, knowing that our clients are coming to us with transportation issues. So they can choose to come in person, but it's pretty rare. The vast majority of those sessions we can achieve right over the phone and help individuals move along that way. You might be wondering, well, what's going to happen during the counseling session? So at the appointment, the counselor is going to review Andrea's expenses, income, and credit, and help determine Andrea's capacity for a loan and offer very personalized financial advice for how Andrea can improve her credit and support loan approval. So in this whole process, we win when Andrea wins. We're able to get funding for the program and support and sustain the program when we have more and more clients who are successful. So that's what our whole aim and focus is, and what the whole Driven to Success counseling format is designed to do. To give you a little bit more background on Denise's expertise, Denise was a loan officer for a local credit union for many years, helped us to further design and develop the counseling that we do for Driven to Success. So it's very focused and very fit for helping somebody to move forward and get approved for a loan and to make the wisest decisions along the way. So as you can imagine, Denise has kind of seen it all over the years with different scenarios and situations that people have been in, and can really just offer so much value in that space. And then if eligible, Andrea would be recommended to one of our local lending partners who would process Andrea's loan application, make a lending decision, and if approved, provide a pre-approval for an auto loan so Andrea can begin shopping at local dealerships. So that's kind of a very basic breakdown of how that journey would look for one of our clients who's going through the program and getting our support along the way. I could tell you that I've had a few people that I've known go through the program, and they always express how helpful it was to them to know that there was somebody in their corner who could help them make sense of everything that they had to make sense of. And for all of us who've been through the car buying process, I'm sure we can appreciate how important and helpful that is. That's another thing that a lot of our lending partners really value in the program, is exactly that support and education that people are able to get along the way, because they know that somebody's coming to them in a much better space. So to take a quick break here, we've got a quick trivia question. I can see some of you are answering right now. And the question is, what is the average used auto loan interest rate? So if you want to pop that in the chat, if you think you might know. I see a lot of people going at 12%, 11.5%, 7.9. I see 15, 7. Many of you are very close. So according to Experian, the average used car interest rate was 11.74% in February 2025. So on average, that's where most folks would fall, which is quite a bit higher than we might see on television with different commercials and financing options. We could tell you that the clients who have been approved for loans through Driven to Success, based on their credit, typically would be charged much higher than that if they were to go elsewhere. But our local lending partners have provided them much more competitive rates that are only slightly higher than what you see on the screen right now. The question is, with what credit score? This is across all credit scores and across all lending. So this is like complete average across every type of used auto. Obviously, better credit's going to help us to get better rates than that. So next, we want to talk about program benefits. We're going to talk about who the program has been seeing come through the most, what the potential community impact is, and how this can affect new lending and career growth. So far from the evaluation that we've had of clients that have come through the program, this is who we're seeing most often than not. As I said, a lot of single mother heads of household who are in the lower side of the low to moderate income bracket, and individuals who are living in the zip codes that you see there on the bottom right, 14621, 14, that should say 611 and 609. So right now, that's really where we've been having a lot of the biggest traction from individuals taking advantage of the program. And when it comes to community impact, just wanted to share this really quickly. We did an evaluation of what we feel are the biggest aspects of the program where it helps individuals to save money. We talked about savings on interest. We talked about the costs for Uber and Lyft. And as you can see, we're factoring even a little bit more conservatively here than we talked about before. And also savings on income from loss of time and lost wages from work for those instances where people cannot get there. So based on an average benefit that somebody might receive over the course of the program, times 500 individuals that we are intending to help over our 4-year kind of startup, it would be about a $6 million benefit across all those individuals that we would be assisting. And then we talked briefly about the fact that the program is designed to help create new lending and increase lending opportunities for the individuals in our communities, as well as for our great local lenders to do even more work. So we work really hard to increase reach and promotion to low to moderate income individuals who need to get connected to local lending and auto loans. We do a lot of targeted outreach, which we're going to mention and talk about in a moment here. We also do social media advertising and create strategic partnerships with community agencies. We also, at the same time, as you heard, do a lot of vetting and underwriting through our process to try to help people get connected to local lending partners at the right time. And we're also doing a lot of the upfront work that needs to be done in that whole lending process through our document collection. As you heard, we collect income documentation, credit reports, banking, and then we do a lot of the evaluation of affordability to help lenders to make that process smoother as well. And then lastly here is career growth. So we mentioned before that driven to success, I have a typo there, so I apologize, but it helps individuals to expand their income through new opportunities. If gaining auto financing helps them to gain a career, gain a job, then we're helping them to expand their income, or if they're just taking on new shifts because now they have transportation to do so. Or it helps them to stabilize the income that they have because now they have more practical and reliable and affordable transportation, where their transportation might have previously been difficult, or they're not able to maintain it. So that's the other primary benefit that we're really focused on with the program. All right, so one more trivia question. Then we're going to talk about the resources and steps to making a referral. So what do you think is the typical minimum credit score required for a used auto loan? So I see 600, 650, 550. Andrea's a cheater. She doesn't count. She knows these things. So we've got things kind of a little bit all over the place. And many of you are very close, right? So credit scores are always going to be vastly different as far as what's required depending upon who you go to. But according to Car and Driver, a minimum credit score of 675 is generally required for a used auto loan, which is a lot higher than what I thought it was going to be. And I can tell you that many of our clients who've been approved for loans with our local lending partners have had scores far less than that. or if they needed to improve their credit score, then we help them to do so. But many of our clients have, again, had scores a lot less than that, and our wonderful lending partners have found ways to work with them and found other ways to succeed with their lending. Question came through, what is it for a new auto loan? It would probably be even higher than that, right? So it tells us how important our credit scores are and how challenging that can be. So finally, I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can connect individuals to the program, what resources are available to you, what the steps would be, and what the partnership opportunities might be. And then we'll open it up for general questions and really dig into those. So as you saw previously, one of the primary resources we have is our Driven to Success flyer. This is something that we can share with organizations and individuals electronically, that you can then share electronically or post in a lobby or a waiting area. You can see the picture on the right there. We have these lovely little stand-ups that we can provide if needed as well, so that you can just pop it on a desk or pop it on a table in a waiting room. And it makes it very convenient for people to, on the fly, click that and apply. We learned that if we don't create opportunities for people to be able to apply right then and there, then things get lost in the shuffle. So folks can literally scan that and apply on their phone when they're in a waiting room, waiting for an appointment, or in some other setting like that. Secondly, we have the application link. So that's something that we are going to share afterwards that you can just forward to individuals through email, or you could share it through social media or on a web page. And again, people could just click that and apply. And then we also have our car buyer education course that we are happy to host for any group that might desire that. It's something that could be hosted virtually or on site. And as you can see, it covers a whole wide range of topics. I just put the course overview slide on the screen here for you. We talk about everything from the best way to research and find a car and understand that whole process, to tips for buying a car and understanding car loans versus leasing, what to watch out for warranties. And then we talk specifically about how to get connected with the Driven to Success program. So at the end here, we're going to talk again about how you can schedule something like that if you desire to. So very simply, the steps to refer someone is to identify those who are Monroe County residents and Wayne or Ontario County residents in the next few weeks here that might be low to moderate income and have a work-related transportation need. And you can inform them by sharing those resources that we just talked about, or by hosting a car buyer education course to better inform a group and give them that opportunity and encourage people to apply. They can either call us for more information, or they can email us at driven2success@cccsofrochester.org. Again, all these resources are going to be provided to you after the session today as well. So we're going to email you after this with the program flyer, the application link, and this presentation recording. And our invitation is for you to start making referrals today. Or if you are interested in talking about next steps for a formal lending or referral partnership, you can contact me personally, and my contact information will be right in the email as well as in this presentation. And I'd be happy to chat with you and set up a meeting. So I know we went through that pretty quickly, but I always like to say less and have you wishing you heard more than the opposite way around. And we wanted to make sure we reserved enough time here at the end to answer any questions that anybody might have. So Denise, were there any questions that came up in the chat that I needed to respond to?
I think, mostly it looks like things have been answered, but I'm open to talk about anything that someone wants to go further about, like what lending is available to their clients, or specific questions about applying or decision making.
I do see. Are you able to send the slides as well? Yes, we can send the slides as well.
Oh, yeah,
So
well,
be
I
sure to do
figured
that.
that was answered.
Great. So any other questions, go ahead and just type them in the chat there. There's no way that I could have presented everything that clearly in that amount of time. There'd be no questions. Maybe I'm going to feel very good about myself if that's the case. Okay, I see questions coming through. So Denise, I'll let you kind of put forth the ones you think I
I
should
mean,
respond to.
in income, there aren't any income barriers. We base, well, when I do the session with a client, I utilize their income and their expenses to kind of deduct their capacity to borrow. So based on that income, eligibility for a loan is deducted at the time of the session. So we work with all incomes. If for some
Well,
reason,
maybe
if
they're
there's a,
asking what the income eligibility is.
oh,
So
for the
the
county. Okay,
yes, the
got it.
income eligibility is the HUD low to moderate income limit, which is 80% of the area median income for that household size. So I don't know those numbers off the top of my head. We usually have them posted in the application so people have an idea, and it's updated every year, but it's fairly generous.
Oh, here's another question. Since they'll be working with a specific lender for financing, is a down payment required? Actually, not always required. Some of our lenders will offer a loan to our candidates with no down payment. And there aren't any seminars that anyone would have to attend. Basically, by applying online, the process gets started. We ask for people to submit their financials and we do a session. And after the session, if I can, I recommend that client. So it's a very rapid program. So it's not lengthy to get an idea if you could get approved for a car loan, which is important because a lot of people need answers quickly, especially for financing purposes.
I see. Can we start telling people about the county expansion? Yes, it would be safe to tell people about the county expansion because we do have all of the support secured for that, which we're incredibly grateful for. And it's really just about us getting somebody in place to manage that region. I see another question. What do you estimate the time frame a client can complete this program in? Denise, you want to take that one?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as an individual uploads their financials and books a session, after that session, we recommend them to a lender. Typically, a decision is made within a week of recommendation, maybe sooner, depending on the lending partner. And there was another question about.
Yeah, so that time frame does depend upon the client themselves. But we can usually get somebody in for an appointment very soon,
The
within
week,
a
yeah,
few days. Yeah, a week at the
yeah.
most right now. And
Here's
then
a good one. If someone's turned down, do you counsel them to overcome the barrier? Yes, I do. I actually follow up with clients after a decision's been made. And if they were denied, sometimes what I find out is what was the barrier from the lender. We might work on improving their credit, or sometimes I'm able to recommend them to another lending partner, depending on their circumstances. But usually, I always have advice if they are denied, and their application never goes away. So they're welcome to circle back, maybe if they do some work on the credit, and then we try again. So I'm always willing to try.
I do see a question someone asked, do lenders respect people going through the program? That's a very good question. We work with lending partners who we believe are going to best serve the clients who are coming through this program, who also have a very good understanding of how to work with this population. They're still lenders, so they still have to, go through that process and make sure that they're doing their due diligence. But we do ask all of our lending partners, we have them actually sign in agreement with us, so we all have an understanding of what the intent of the program is, and make sure that we're all on the same page. Am I missing anything else here, Denise?
I'm just saying, do lenders respect clients that go through lender programs?
So,
Yeah.
can we share this presentation with other staff? Yes, please do. Um, any way that you want to help spread the word, we greatly appreciate. If you want to just share the materials, etc., with other staff members, if you'd ever like us to come and do an info session for your staff members or team, we would be happy to figure that out. Do you have programs that help prepare clients to get homes and business loans? We do provide home buyer counseling and education. We are a HUD certified housing counseling agency. We don't specifically help people get business loans, but their personal credit does often play into being approved for a business loan. So a lot of individuals who have businesses come to us for credit counseling and debt management. Would you be open to do a presentation to a few groups I'm a part of? Yes, absolutely, Tanya. Just let me know and we can get that figured out. I'll connect you with Andrea to schedule that.
Nice. Urban, okay.
Great.
They would like to schedule a webinar at the Urban League for June.
Absolutely.
And we can definitely provide stand-up flyers for your lobby.
Donna, you know I'm always happy to help you out. So just
I know. I was like, hi, Chad. I came up just so I could say, look, come on over.
Yes, ma'am. I was excited when I saw your name on the registration, as I was with so many people. Great. Well, if you want to continue to hang out and ask questions, feel free to. Otherwise, we thank you all for being here today. Again, materials will go out afterwards, so you can utilize them as you best see fit, share them in any way that you would like to. But we really do appreciate your time and your interest in this program and your help in promoting it, because I'm sure you can all see how this could hopefully be such a huge help to so many people. And I'm sure that the transportation need in our community is not lost on any person in this room. So thank you all. Have a great, wonderful, and blessed day, and we'll talk to you soon.
I know. Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Thanks
everybody.
for joining. Bye.